Welcome. Welcome to Wednesday Connect, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Nancy Walters. I'm the Executive Director of the La Jolla Community Center, and we're very happy to have you here. We're excited to have Susie back again with us, Suzie Piegza. She joined us about a month or two ago talking about travel destinations in 2022, which was a wonderful presentation. And she is gracing us with her presence once more to talk a little bit more about travel, actually tips and tricks about getting ready to travel. So we're excited to learn more, as we all, I'm sure, have plans to get around a little bit this year or next. So a little bit about the community center before I introduce Susie. I would of course encourage all of you to learn more about our current programs. Of course, we have Wednesday Connect that happens on Wednesdays virtually. We have a great speaker coming in later next week, actually, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a sec too. But we have a lot of programs going on daily, everything from fitness and wellness to art and language to special events and concerts. So I encourage you all to please learn a little bit more. You can visit our website. It's ljcommunitycenter.org. We have lots going on, so I hope that you can join us for something else. Before I introduce Susie, a quick reminder of next week for our Wednesday Connect series. We have another great program. It's titled Understanding Financial Scams to Protect You and Your Loved Ones. That's put on by David Lutomsky. He is a private client banker from Chase Bank. He'll also be joined with by Sandra Tucker. So please, if you're interested in that, you can visit our website. Again, it's ljcommunitycenter.org, so you can sign up for that. And again, thanks for joining. It's my pleasure to introduce Suzie Piegza. She is Vice President and co-founder of Classic Journeys, LLC. Founded in La Jolla in 1995, Classic Journeys is the world's leading walking tour adventure company, a multi-time winner of Travel and Leisure World's Best Tour Operator designation. Classic Journeys runs curated small group tours in 80 regions in 50 countries around the world. The company's tours are known for handcrafted, immersive itineraries featuring well-chosen boutique hotels and led by full-time guides who are local to each region. The company runs scheduled departures year-round, as well as private and custom tours for groups and families. In addition to her work at Classic Journeys, Suzie Piegza has been involved in Las Patronas and was the Jewel Ball Chair for Moonlit Mambo in 2014. She currently serves on the La Jolla Ryford Library Board of Directors and acts as the group's Art and Culture Committee liaison. Suzie and her husband, Edward, live in La Jolla, where they raised their two sons. So please help me welcome Suzie Piegza.
Thank you, guys. It's really fun to be here with you. So packing tips and tricks. This is something that all of my friends are calling me about all of the time. So I sort of got into this just because I'm out and about traveling, and I needed to figure out ways, how do I bring the things that I actually want to bring with me? And how do I not bring a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to use, and then I'm just lugging around a suitcase? So I've gotten it down. I think about it a lot, so I probably have gotten it down maybe in more detail than a normal person, but I wanted to share some ideas with you. So I'm going to share my screen and start running through some things. We'll talk about before your departure, things to think about. Since I'm thinking about travel all the time, I know that most people might think about it on occasion, but we'll go through some of these different ideas. So I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully, here we go. There we go. Okay, so before you go on your trip, and I'm going to address a lot of international travel because that is really where our specialty is. It's probably what I think about the most because that's where you are most a fish out of water. So when you're going to leave, check your passport. It should have 6 months beyond the arrival date in country. And I know it's easy to just look at my passport and say, oh, it's good for another 6 months. We have to think of when I arrive in whatever country, it should have 6 months. I know Mexico, gives you I think it's 3 months, but in general, you need 6 months. It's a great idea if you're planning on traveling a lot, invest in a credit card that will give you TSA pre-check, airline miles, doesn't charge foreign transaction fees, gives you a level of insurance. A lot of them give you additional airline credits that can go towards baggage and food and things like that. Sometimes these cards seem more expensive, but I'm actually figuring out on a day-to-day basis of how much I'm using a card, and I'm saving money by using a card that is one of those that has this huge annual fee, but I'm using a lot, I'm traveling a lot. Travel insurance, my company doesn't sell travel insurance, but if we could, we'd include travel insurance on every single departure that we have, because if you don't get travel insurance, you're basically self-insuring. And the idea of losing whatever amount of money you've just spent on a dream vacation, it's so sad. And we have these conversations with our guests all the time because somebody isn't expecting to, trip on I had one that tripped on a maple seed pod 3 days before she was leaving on a Christmas markets tour, broke her ankle and couldn't go. And it's just too sad. So please, 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 be sure to check out travel insurance. Clothes and shoes, no matter where you're going, figure out the activities that you're going to do and the weather. I've got a group of 10 people right now in Quebec, and they dressed for June weather, and it's cold there, even though the rest of the US is having a heat wave. It's actually cold. And the people who brought like a hat and gloves are super happy because they weren't, it's June. What are you thinking? But weather can change. So if you can check out the weather ahead of time, and know that at any minute things could change. So having a couple of things along with you, like a hat, a pair of gloves, and a raincoat, those are all really handy. Suitcases, I only go with carry-on suitcases. I like a very lightweight suitcase. I want it to have really good 4 good wheels that are going to wheel me around in whichever direction I need to pull it. I want it to have really good zippers. I want it to blend and not call any attention to me while I'm traveling. And I know there are people who like, oh, I want a bright pink one, or I want a Louis Vuitton one or something. I do not. I want a basic suitcase that when I'm going on and off the airplane around town, I blend, but I do put on a bright luggage tag, and I put the luggage tag up on the handle where anyone reaching for my bag is going to see this bright orange luggage tag. And it's, sort of a specific, in my case, it's one of my company's luggage tags that clearly has, a demarcation on it that no one else is going to take this suitcase, because they'll see like, oh, this bright orange luggage tag right at the handle. If it has multi-handles, I'm fine with putting luggage tags on a couple spots on a suitcase, but I want my suitcase to blend. I buy, and I'm, once again, I'm not getting paid by anybody to do anything. I like Travel Pro. It's the one that the flight attendants use. I like it for a number of reasons. It's a good suitcase. It doesn't break. The wheels stay on. The handle is sturdy when I'm pulling it. I mentioned, it's lightweight, and it also blends. And so when I'm going on and off an airplane, I'm not going to get a gate agent pulling me to the side saying, oh, what's this, Michael Kors suitcase that looks like an odd shape and is, has all these like brassy, shiny things. They're not paying attention to me. I'm walking on the airplane, no problem. It also has the ability to like double zip and collapse. So once I've packed a suitcase, I can re-zip it and compress it further. Carry-on bag. I carry on one that's pretty big because once again, I'm trying to get all the things I need on the airplane. I say big, but not too big, because you still have to fit in the seat in front of you. I like one with good compartments that I can access, even if I'm sitting on the airplane, if I can just like pull out part of my bag. I put the same things in the same spots in my carry-on all the time. So I always know where my phone's going to be. I always know where tissues are going to be. I always know where lip balm's going to be, or whatever I might want on reading glasses. I know where I'm going to get those. So I'm not opening it up and like looking around the entire time. Once again, really good zippers. Ideally, it's something that would fit over the handle of my carry-on. So when I lift up the handle for my carry-on, I can slide my bag, and I'm not lugging something on my shoulders. And so my chiropractor or acupuncturist or whoever is trying to unkink all of this stuff when I come home from a trip, doesn't have to do as much work. And I like something multifunctional. That's something that, if it's a backpack that I could use if I needed to use it for some reason. Medical and personal care, do that before you go. Make sure if you need a mani-pedi, or you've got your hair, or whatever vaccines, and I'm not just talking about COVID vaccines, I'm talking about there are other vaccines you might need when you're traveling. So just make sure you get all of those done. So carry on only ground rules. So I'm going to tell you how to go with just a carry-on bag. Some things we have to have a common understanding. This is not a fashion show. I'm going to travel. I'm going to explore. I'm going to expand my world, enjoy an area, I'm going to wear the same thing more than one time. I'm not going to wear the same thing the entire time, but I am going to wear some things the same time. I'm not going to wear a lot of linen and fancy silk things. I'm going to wear things that I consider practical, that if I roll them up and put them in a suitcase, I take them out and hang them up, the wrinkles are sort of going to come out and I'm going to look fine. I've had a friend that I know through a pure bar class, and she said, well, where am I going to bring my steamer? And I'm like, if you're going to bring a steamer, don't even, I'm not going to be helpful to you, because I am going, and I'm going out there to have fun, and I'm not going to be, worried about steaming my clothes in the morning. I also like the idea of having complete mobility when I'm on a trip. I don't want a suitcase that I consider a suitcase an anchor, and I'm not lugging that around. And if you've traveled to Europe and you've gone in and out of, train stations and other things, they don't have OSHA like we have OSHA with elevators and escalators and ramps. There are stairs, and I'm not going to have a huge suitcase that I'm going to go up and down. Yes, my suitcase I'm having with me is going to be heavy, but I can carry one suitcase up and down. I cannot carry two suitcases or a very large suitcase, so I'm not doing that. Also, when I get to a place, I don't want to sit around and wait for baggage claim. That's wasting time. I also don't like to lose my luggage, and it's happened to me when I've checked bags in the past, even in priority part of a cabin with priority tagging, my suitcase has disappeared. That is not fun. And then you're spending a lot of time at the airport trying to file a claim and losing all your stuff. Problem with doing carry-on only, it limits what you can do shopping wise. However, if you're really going to go shopping and you have to check a bag on the way home, once you get home, it's not as big of a deal if your suitcase is delayed or anything like that. So it limits your ability to do a lot of shopping. However, if you do decide to buy some stuff, you can always bring it home or ship it. Another nice thing about doing carry-on only, most airlines charge a lot for baggage fees. I'm not dealing with baggage fees because I'm just walking on the airplane with what's allowed. So what to wear? Whenever I shop, I look at things and think, would this be good for travel? Is it comfortable? Is it lightweight? Is it easy to clean? The biggest issue is always shoes. Shoes are a pain. Trying to find something that's comfortable, yet cute. It's good for walking, doesn't take up too much room, but shoes are one of the first things I look at. Like, oh, those are good travel shoes. I like those. Those are comfortable. And I try them out before I go on a trip, because I also don't want blisters when I arrive in country. I buy a lot of staples. I buy a lot of things that are, t-shirts and, slacks and things that I think, oh, these go well together. And then jackets are the other issue when I'm traveling. If they're too large and bulky, they're not going to work well. I mean, you could wear one bulky jacket onto the airplane, but to fit things into a suitcase, I'm looking at how do I do layers? How are these jackets practical? How do they work with a lot of different areas? And I'm going to show you some tricks of how to pack a jacket too. And then accessories. Accessories are a girl's best friend when she's traveling, because you can throw on a necklace or something like a scarf, a necklace, something, and it dresses up what you're wearing. And you can wear that, pretty much every day, and no one's saying oh, you're wearing that same necklace. It doesn't matter. You're just wearing it again. So before I'm about to head out on a trip, I'm looking at electronics. Do I need a converter or adapter? And I will show you guys, I buy this one a travel adapter that has a bunch of USBs in it. It works for, the UK as well as Italy or wherever I'm going, and US. And it's one travel adapter, and it has USB, so you're charging phones and other things on it, as well as if you have to plug in anything that you need to plug in. I charge my AirPods. I bring additional earphones on an airplane, because sometimes you need the ones with the little audio port. I bring spare batteries. I charge everything ahead of time. I bring some cash along, and I also bring my ATM, because going in country, ATMs are the best way to get cash. I check my limits. I have a special ATM account just for travel, so it's not connected to my main account. So if anyone ever hacked my ATM, they can only take what I've put in that account. So like I think it's like I put $2,000 in it, and that's all that's ever in that account. And if somebody stole it, I know that that's probably the max that they could take out. But I have online banking access, so if I have to throw some more money in, I can do that. I let my credit card company know, hey, I'm going to have a lot of weird charges. I download all the apps to my phone. Also, I download the airline apps. Airline apps are the best way to know if your flight's going to be canceled or changed or delayed, because they let people who have an app know way before you see it actually up on a board or anyone makes an announcement. I also download some of the entertainment, like the go-go in-flights. I download those ahead of time too. When you have your strong Wi-Fi and cell service at home, it's easier to download. I also download a book or so, like something that is easy to read. I don't love reading off of tablets, but I will do that. And I'll download a movie just in case. If all things like entertainment, everything leaves on the flight, at least I have something I can watch. I pack some of my own snacks, like almonds and things like that. I'm always looking for travel size cosmetics and some small refillable containers. I don't bring all of my facial products along, but places like Blue Mercury or whatever can give you little samples. Try them at home before you ever use them on your face when you're gone, because you don't want to have an allergic reaction or something. But to bring some small sample sizes usually work great for a whole trip. Medical stuff I bring along, like Pepto-Bismol, but I buy the little tablets. I don't bring anything liquid. So I really limit how many liquids. So, the little chewable Pepto-Bismols or whatever you might need. Even like electrolyte solution, like the little Noon tablets, those are great. Or emergencies, bring those along. I recommend bringing a water bottle on the flight with you. It's an empty water bottle when you're going through TSA. And then all the airports have potable water that you can go up, filtered water, and fill up your water bottle. I don't like to be on a flight and there's turbulence and I need to take in Motrin and I don't have any water. So I like having it. And I like a water bottle where the top doesn't get exposed to everything. I like one that has like a cover on it so that my mouth isn't going on something that just was laying on the floor of an airplane. And I'm huge on packing cubes, and you'll see this. I like using packing cubes. I use them for my carry-ons. If you don't have packing cubes and you just want to try it out, you can use large, like gallon Ziploc bags, and they work fine. And I'll show you how I do that too. Okay, so before we're getting ready to travel, we've already been thinking about where we're going. We've checked the weather. We figured out what we're going to do. We're going to do like some walking around Florence. We're going to walk into the countryside in Chianti. We're going to go wine tasting, whatever it might be. So now we're figuring out our outfits. I actually lay out things on my bed and try to figure out, okay, this works well. Like this shirt, these pants, I'll need a belt. And if I'm going to wear this, every so often I'm like, oh, well, I need to wear, a camisole under this outfit. I lay things out. I then am picking out things. I wear a lot of black, white, tan, and then I have navy. And navy and black don't go well together, but the white and tan work with everything. And I throw in some gray. Okay, it's not the most beautiful, colorful wardrobe, but it works when I'm traveling. And once again, one of my goals is to sort of blend with everybody where I'm going. I'm like when I spent a month in Morocco, I wore almost like black, tan, gray the entire time. I blended. I wasn't trying to stand out, and I was having a wonderful time getting to know local people. As I mentioned, I lay out outfits and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to have that belt. That works well. These things go. Oh, I need a special bra for this dress I'm wearing. I need to know those things ahead of time because I hate to be in country and realize like, oh shoot, I didn't bring something that would have gone with that outfit. I like to roll my stuff. I don't fold and stack. Like giant sweaters are not going to work for me. I want to roll them and I'm going to stick them in my packing cube. Okay, so this is a packing cube hat. This suitcase has so much clothes in it. And I tried to use Ziploc bags because a friend of mine said, hey, I'm not using packing cubes, I'm using Ziploc bags. Ziploc gallon bags actually worked. And I'm going to show you how that happened. So a Ziploc bag can be a packing hack if you don't want to use bags. So I was just in New York City this past weekend and I was thinking about you guys. I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to bring? Well, I need running shoes. I need walking shoes. I need some dress flats. I'm going to bring a couple pairs of sandals. Obviously, I need a bunch of underwear and socks. And I know Steve, that one travel guy, likes to talk about, like, he brings like 2 pairs of underwear and he's always washing them in the sink. I'm not doing that. I don't have time to wash underwear in the sink the entire time. Underwear doesn't take up that much room. If I'm going to bring a luxury, I'm bringing lots of clean underwear. That's like, and if I have to wash, if I'm gone for a month, yes, I'm going to do laundry, but I'm not skimping there. And some socks. I brought a navy black blazer, a tan jean jacket, a dressy jacket for going out to dinner, a rain jacket. A pashmina is like the most wonderful thing to have with you. I wore blue jeans, black jeans, white jeans, camo pants, and yoga pants, 2 pairs of shorts. I brought a black dress, 8 t-shirts, a blue sweater, white sweater, hoodie, 4 blouses, 2 dressy tanks, 1 camisole, 2 belts, 2 purses, and a scarf. Okay, that's a lot of clothes, right? There it is. So I brought all of these things. This is actually in our room in New York City. So this is, I laid it all on the king size bed. So you see, I've got, whatever, 5 pairs of shoes. I've got dresses. I've got purses. I've got, 3 pairs of jeans plus, whatever. And that little bag down the bottom with the little orange luggage tag. Okay, I'm going to stick it all in there. So first I take my shoes and I put all my socks and underwear and things inside my shoes. I then put the shoes. So in the middle picture, you see I'm putting the shoes on the outside part of my carry-on. And then I'm going to start putting in my other shoes around the edges of my carry-on. I then am putting things in these packing bags, these orange packing bags, which I'm going to compress. So I fill them and they have double zippers so I can compress. Then I threw purses. I have one purse that's like a leather purse that's in the zipped top, one that I just laid on. And then I put my 2 blazers on top. So you want to see what that looks like. So this is all of my clothes and I'm going to show you how I did this. So here we go. There I go. I'm sticking all the shoes in. I've got my bags. I'm putting all and I'm trying to put like things together. So, and I rolled my jeans and I stuck those on the bottom. Jeans don't work as well in the compression bags, but all my shirts are in the compression bags. And then I've left a pair of shoes and a belt that I'm going to put on separately. And I left my pashmina because I'm going to put that in my carry-on. So there you go. So I took all those things and I stuck them in that bag. Oops, it's doing it again. So let me go to the next one. The things that I'm going to carry on the airplane with me, I need my necessities. So this is where I need my Motrin and hand sanitizer and things like that. But I'm also looking at comfort because I've been on enough flights where I know that, having a little bit of essential oil neck balm where I can roll a little peppermint oil on my neck is going to make me feel a lot better and makes it smell better around me. So things I'm going to bring with me, I'm bringing my cell phone, my charger, a super long charging cord, because I know sometimes I'm in an airplane and I can only sit like 4 seats away from where I'm going to be charging my phone. So I have this super long, like 15-foot charging cord, but it works great. Also happens at hotels where I'm plugging in on one side and I need to charge my phone and it's not going to reach because it's behind a lamp some far away place. So I'm bringing that along. I have AirPods, earphones, water bottle, a pashmina, which also doubles to me as a blanket. I put a sweater and I put a sweater in a little shoe bag so it can make it a pillow, but I can also pull out the sweater if I'm cold. I bring an eye shade. I bring a book or a Kindle along. I've got my reading glasses. I like lip balm because it's dry on a flight. I bring a little bit of face or hand lotion because my hands are going to get dry or my face could use a little touch up. Obviously hand sanitizer. I also bring a wipe so I can wipe down the seats because I've actually seen people change baby diapers on the pull down tray, and I don't want anything gross when I'm going to sit and eat my sandwich. I bring tissues, and if you're wearing a jacket that has pockets, obviously tissues are easy to have there. I mentioned I like to bring like some essential oil, a water bottle. I'm going to have my Pepto, my Motrin and stuff with me. I'm going to keep my passport and money with me, snacks, a pen, because if you're filling out forms when you get land in a place, you're going to have to fill out like an entry card. Always need a pen with you. And then I bring my laptop or tablet along on the plane. So this was just in New York, and this is what I had. So I had my laptop, my tablet, my book. I have a raincoat. I have my pashmina, all my cords. I throw those in Ziploc bags. So I have a bunch of junk, money, makeup that I'm putting all in this this bag. So here again, I decided there's my backpack, and I'm just rolling and sticking all of these things in. I decided that my laptop I was going to put into the top of my carry-on. So I've got my snacks, my cords, everything, and then I stuck my laptop in my carry-on. So, oops, that goes again. So this is a trip to Cabo. All of these clothes. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs of shoes. I have 2 dresses. I have bathing suit cover-ups. I have bathing suits, a whole bunch of things to wear for shorts and t-shirts, a sun hat, an extra hat, all of my, my toiletries, little envelope type purse, all of that stuff. It all fit in this bag and that backpack. This is London and Italy. I was gone for 3 weeks. So I even have more shoes. This is sort of like my crowning achievement, because I had to go to the London, the Royal Henley Regatta, where I needed to wear dresses that were long. I have a proper hat here, so I could be, like at these like London tea parties looking appropriately dressed. I have a blazer, I have a proper purse, and I have like real pumps. I had to wear the pumps on the airplane because there's no way I could get all these things in my bag, but I wore the pumps. It's not super comfortable, but it got me through, and I carried my hat in my hand. But other than that, everything else was inside my bag. Then when I get home, what do? I look at what I brought with me. What did I not wear? What wasn't practical? What did I need and I didn't have? And what needs to be refilled or replaced? And I go through my 311 bag. I look and see, okay, did I break anything? Am I good to go for my next trip? There's a lot of places to go, and each one requires a different way of packing. But I think as you start to think about it, you'll find that the same clothes work in a lot of locations, and layering is usually the key. And I hope you have fun. I say have rollerboard, will travel. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now.
Well, thank you, Susie. That was very inspiring. As I said, I just went to San Francisco for 2 nights, and I think I packed as much as you did for the 3 weeks. So I need some more tips. But does anyone have any questions for Susie? From Gail, she says, how to find COVID requirements for each country.
You can go our embassy at that country. You can look at that. There are a lot of COVID sites. One really important thing is the US stopped the requirement for when you come back to the US. Our issue, because we're running tours all over the world, our biggest issue has been bringing people back to the US because they all needed to be COVID tested before they left. Now you no longer have to do that. We're lucky because we have local guides, so they all know the local testing area. But you cannot, for a while there, you could not board a US flight without being, showing your negative COVID test. That has just ended over the weekend, June 12th, it ended. And so we'll see what happens over the next, 60, 90 days if anything gets reinstated.
Thank you. Another question is, can you recommend a good travel insurance company?
There are a lot that are good. We've worked with Arch Rome Right, Travel Guard, TravelX. They've all been great. We've been working with some of those companies since, after 9/11, there was a great shakeout because you got to see people who actually helped. And now COVID's been another one. I'm not going to recommend anybody in particular, but you want an upstanding company, somebody who's, been around, because if they need to pay claims, you want it to be a good company. But I mean, I can say we've worked with Arch Rome Right, Travel Guard, and TravelX, and they've all done well for our clients.
Great, thank you. Another question is, what is the carry-on that you recommend and the double zippered packing cubes? Can you repeat the name?
Yep, I can show you. So the carry-on I like is it's a Travel Pro. I buy it on Amazon. It's like, I want to say like $169 on Amazon. I actually have, I'll pull it over. I have it laying over here because I'm in my guest room. I just came home from New York and I've actually like exploded things out. So I'm going to show you some travel, so packing cubes. I buy these on Amazon. This one is called Gonex. What I like about this, and if I, well, hopefully you can see because it won't fog out. So this is an orange packing cube. It has double zippers. So what I can do is fill it completely, zip this outside gray zipper, and then it has another zipper that's going to compress everything even tighter. And it comes in a pack of 3. I want to say they're like, I don't know, $19.99. They're not super expensive. And they really are one of those things that they make the whole travel experience. Actually, I'm going to unblur my background. Okay, so now you get to see my son's messy old bedroom. But like I mentioned, you can, let's say you don't want even like, I don't know if I want to use packing cubes. I like these because they double compress, and I actually will put like things in. So I'll put like all my sweatshirts and t-shirts in one, my shorts and bathing suits in another one, and I zip them closed, and I know like, okay, that bag has all those things. When I get to the hotel, I get that bag and I pretty much dump that in, okay, that's the drawer where I'm going to have all my shirts. So I open the bag, dump them in. And then also these bags, like I've taken them like, like, oh, I've got to run down to the pool. I'm just going to throw some stuff in that and then throw it in a tote. And then I know things are separated. But as I mentioned, you can use plastic bags, gallon bags, and they work fine. It's a little bit janky because you can't fit as many things into them, and they're not really meant for this. But if you want to try, like, hey, I'm going to put all my t-shirts in one Ziploc bag, squeeze out the air, and then zip it shut, it'll work. And you can stick a bunch of things in your suitcase. And like you can buy the little bit larger than gallon size bags too. That the one picture I showed was from the trip to Cabo, where I stuck in all the bags because I was curious. I mentioned like on the airplane, these are the 2 things I love. Okay, so I'm going to have a sweatshirt or a sweater because airplanes, I don't know what they're doing, but sometimes it'll be like 30 degrees in there. It's so cold. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then it's so hot. And then I'm like, oh, so I'm wearing a t-shirt and a jacket. And my jacket has some pockets so I can throw my tissues, my mask, whatever I need with me in it, maybe my lipstick or lip balm. But I take a sweater. And the other thing, so in the outside pocket of my my backpack, like where a water bottle goes, I put a water bottle in one. The other one has my pashmina. And I like this pashmina. I got this in Peru. It's like alpaca or something. I roll this up and I'll stick this where the other water bottle goes. And while everyone else is freezing on the airplane, I have this lovely blanket that I can drape around me. And then I have my sweater that I put in a shoe bag. And instead of walking around with one of those giant, inflatable things, I can stick this just under my head. So I've got my blanket, this, I've got my essential oils. I've got my little mask. I put my earpods on. I'm as happy as can be. No one's bothering me. No weird smells. I'm not cold. It works out really well. And you can use like this kind of a bag, a shoe bag. This is from Lululemon, and it's like silky, so I really like it. But you can have the kinds that come, the other shoe bags, or like this kind is even meant to be like a dirty clothes bag. It's just not as soft. So I'd find something soft if I'm going to use it as a pillow, but all of them can be used as a dirty clothes bag also while you're on your trip. Actually, since I picked up this, I'm just going to run through a couple of things that I like because I mentioned them. This is like the kind of adapter that has all of the different places where, different countries, it's US, it's Japan, it's everything else. Something like this with the USB ports is a good type of adapter. I bring on the airplane with me these little batteries, and I bring these when I'm traveling. This is to charge things. I like this one. It's made by Jackery. It has a flashlight on it. So if you've ever been in a airplane and it's dark at night and you're like, oh my gosh, my glasses just fell, and you're trying to find them, things like this work out really well. And this is one thing that's like dual purpose, and it charges. It's a USB charger. And since we're talking about lights, having something like this, which is a little book light, it also doubles as a flashlight, which I like. And a little book light like this, I think is very convenient when you're at a hotel. And with my case, my husband's sound asleep and I want to read a book and I don't, this works out well. And it uses, it's a nice little flashlight also. I'll show you one of the packing hacks for like a raincoat. So this is, a raincoat with a hood. And I think most people know how to do this, but you just take the pocket, and I mean, it's actually, this one's meant for this. You just shove the entire coat into the pocket. And I stick this in my carry-on because when I get to, in case this weekend was New York and it's drizzly and rainy and gross, I want to be able to do it. This one, I mean, a lot of them are meant like this. Patagonia makes a lot of great jackets too. So that's another way to make something big, small, and this I'll stick in my carry-on, the one that goes under the seat in front of me.
That's great. Thank you. Deborah mentioned that she just wanted to share that Kenya has now banned plastic bags, and you can't even bring them into the country. So check out the country to see their policies. So instead of
don't use Ziplocs there, although it'll be interesting to see, because like which kind of plastic bags they're talking about, if they're talking about just like the shopping kind, or if they're talking about all plastic, because a 311 bag, even the kinds that they issue at the airport, are all the Ziploc type. So I'm interested to know if they're talking about, like the ones that we got rid of too, which are the shopping type bags. And we as a company are trying to reduce all single-use plastics, which is why I think bringing a water bottle is another great reason to have your own water bottle with you when you're traveling.
Susie, Gail asked again about European countries to no COVID restrictions, but you mentioned
if you look at the U.S. Embassy at that in that country, and there should be a COVID page. Also, before you travel, it's always good to check out the State Department website. They have country like country profiles. A lot of people were doing it just for like restrictions to make sure like this country's safe and things like that. But there's also information on each country, what's happening in that country. So I think it's probably the best and most up to date is to go to the country embassy for that specific country.
Great, thank you. Another question is, do you know the actual size of your Travel Pro luggage?
It's right. Do you want me to, I'll walk over and I'll grab it. I can show you it. I don't know the size. It's the standard size that fits for US airplanes. It is not anything special. Okay. So this is it. Black Travel Pro. And what I like about it, so when you zip it, so let's say like and this is not, I still have my purse in it because I just came home, as I mentioned. Oh, and I like to bring tea along with me too. I always throw a couple tea bags in here because I like to have like ginger tea or something when I land someplace. But this is just a regular Black Travel Pro. Mine's pretty well worn. What I like about it also is if you needed to check it at some point because you bought a bunch of stuff, it does expand again. So you have a little bit more room, you can expand it out. Also, when I'm packing, let's say I'm packing this really full, I will expand it out and then double zip it so that it will compress one more time. When I went to London and Italy and I brought all of those things, I did have to do that. I filled my suitcase, I zipped it with it expanded, and then I held it down and double zipped it back closed. But this is just a regular, it's the USA based Travel Pro. I don't know what the model is. I think it's called something Light Flight or something like that. It's just a normal size black travel pro.
Mhm. I believe the dimensions are 22 inches or less for carry-on. So
Right.
just as long as you grab something like that. Susie, what are your suggestions for when you're traveling and you want to purchase gifts, souvenirs, you know, something? Are you super limited because
Earrings. I buy people earrings everywhere I go, whether I'm in Thailand or something else. I do buy gifts, and I do bring them home, but I'm bringing bracelets, earrings. I'm not buying anything large or bulky. Yeah, you can do some spices and stuff like that, but sometimes that can be a mess. No, so I buy earrings. I don't know. I guess that's maybe not best for everybody, but I'm not buying a lot when I'm in other spots. I almost think that the idea of going someplace and having to buy gifts when now today, when you've got things like World Market that we have right up here, La Jolla Village Drive, I go there, I'm like, oh, these are the same things that I bought in Italy, but they're here. I almost like, oh, I guess I could have just come here and bought them, but I don't know. So I'm probably unique in that when I'm traveling, I'm not really thinking about bringing home a bunch of stuff. And then, you know, that you might bite the bullet and say, yep, on the way home, I'm checking a bag and I'm going to pay the whatever baggage fee and deal with having a big bag on the other end. But, you know, normally even for myself, you know, I buy like, oh, that's a really cute, you know, small wooden object, a picture frame, you know, something small that I can stick in my suitcase and that doesn't break.
great, thank you.
I have come home. I mean, I went to Hong Kong and I did buy a whole bunch of ceramic stuff and I did have to ship it. And then I also brought some stuff on the airplane and it was a pain. And so I don't, you know, I'm not saying don't do it, but sometimes I go, oh, is this really worth it?
Thank you. Awesome. Okay. Well, we're just getting some thank you messages. So Susie, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone who joined us at home, thank you so much for being here. Please check us out. Check out our website. It's ljcommunitycenter.org. We have lots more going on. And we'll also post Susie's presentation there in the next week or so you can review if you want to share it as well. It'll be available. So thank you all for joining us and hope to see you back soon. Susie, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. What was the name of your travel company?
Oh, Classic Journeys, and it's classicjourneys.com. You can see our company.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, guys.